Daily check-in Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. Just wrapped up a nice little runner's yoga session a couple minutes ago. It was something for self-care that I had put on the calendar for the first time in, I think I haven't done yoga in like 6-ish months. And we're getting to the point where mileage is up over 30 on a weekly basis for running. So important to make sure we're getting the stretches in and taking care of ourselves, because it's always pretty demoralizing getting pretty far into a training block and then getting injured. So doing what I can within reason to keep from getting injured this time around, and also taking a moment to step back and just reflect on the day's work as well, kind of like we do in this video. So that being said, today was a bit of a sleep catch-up day. Got 9 hours, slept from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., got up and immediately started working on client strategies. I had predicted that it would take me about 5 hours to do 4 of them. I was wrong, because I went through and did them in as proper of a way as I knew how to. So I ended up taking about 6 hours to do 2 of them, and then got the highest priority scripts done for the next 2.5 hours. So that brought us to an 8.5 hour day, which brought us pretty later inside the day after lunch and clearing inbox. So now that my brain is a little bit fried, we just did a little bit of yoga, and now I am going to organize some of the footage that hasn't been organized yet. Did a bit of it so far, but from the shoot this past weekend, we are starting to run a little bit low on content for that client. So now it's like very important for me to upload all the footage, get it all in, because this weekend was like bang, 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 bang. And when we got back this week was bang, bang, bang. So this has been the first time I've been able to probably take a look at the footage, organize it, upload it, and get it into our editing team. So that's what I'm gonna be going through and doing next. What I'm gonna do right now is, as I'm starting to notice, I'm getting a little bit more vague and high level on these videos. So I wanna try and, like, in live time right now, switch the mentality and dive in a little bit more to what was actually going on throughout the day, and just getting a little bit more detail for documentary purposes, and also just forcing myself to extract the lessons and nuance out from the day. So the first strategy that we had done was for a restaurant operator, and personally for me, I was very excited to do this one, because I'll go out on my runs, particularly on Monday mornings, and the route that I go has, like, I don't think strip mall is like the right official term for it, but basically it has like these like quick service food restaurants, and like a Verizon, and like, I don't know if it's even a Verizon, but it's like a bunch of stores that are in there. And I always get so inspired going by those restaurants, because I'm thinking to myself, like, how can we build our operation in a way where we can legitimately serve any business that wants the help on social media, from a level of like enterprise clients. As you can see right here, one of the things I want to do long term is like have enterprise level clients, where instead of our team working on a bunch of clients, like we have a client that comes on and they get an entire team with us. Like, people are assigned to that particular client, multiple team members. So like that at the highest level. And then also being able to just have like the education, the products, the content that genuinely can help anybody grow on social media, whether you're a business or whether you're a personal brand or whether you're a creator, and becoming the go-to source for learning how to grow your social media in a systematic way. So it was really cool seeing this gentleman who like operates one of those businesses. Now we're helping him as a personal brand grow his reach on helping restaurant owners grow their businesses. But it was really cool seeing like that quick service model that is just in my head of like, that's the places that I'll go run by, and I'm like, I want to be able to serve those kind of restaurants. I mean, I have on my vision board like Uber, Google, Apple, like these being our clients, and I think it would be super sick, and this is like a nice stepping stone to get in there. So that was the first one we did. Came up with 4 pillars, one of them as a top of funnel reach engine, 3 as a bottom of funnel sales engine. Now the strategies will vary based from client to client, whether like they want to, the main goal is like to grow more, or the main goal is like, hey, I'm okay staying a little bit smaller, but I want to make sure that we're bringing in leads. The strategy will change based on what the client's goals are. So in this case, he's like, yeah, this has to bring in more coaching clients. Otherwise, it's like, it's useless to me to have 10,000 followers that aren't going to buy. And that's not always the case for everyone, because I did another strategy later in the day where the main goal was just like build brand, build presence, build credibility. So like 3 of the pillars out of the 4 were all top of funnel based and virality centric. So basically what we'll do now is put together a Notion document going over their brand promise. So like why someone should follow the account, their brand pillars, like what the different stuff we'll talk about are, and then just basically run that by them and just say, hey, this is what we, from our research on you and your brand, this is what we have seen to do, like that we think will do the best based on what you've shared with us and our preliminary research. They give us a thumbs up, then we start the research process after that. And we'll also go through and do like a mining session of questions to be able to extract their expertise so that we can write scripts just like them, and also go over some page improvements that they can have as well. So those will be our strategy calls. I've got one of them coming up on Friday and the other one is on Tuesday. So those took me about 6 hours and some change to get the 2 of those done today. I think I could have worked a little bit faster. I'm noticing I work kind of slow when it's like day-to-day things. Like I was only able to get, I think it was 12 scripts done in like the 2-hour block that I had given myself. And typically I'm like, when I was really scripting properly, I was not scripting properly. When I was like in the trenches of scripting, like I've had 70 days, like 70 script days in the past. So I know it's possible, but now it's a matter of like really just building out that process so that I can use it better. But also as we start to grow our team, we can do that as well. I also had 2 interactions in the last 2 days going over our creative director role. So one of them was with our main recruiter who placed my executive assistant as well as our post-production manager. He was giving us some pointers on how we could potentially find these creative director roles. Creative director on our company would basically be coming up with ideas for clients, putting those strategies together like I just mentioned, writing scripts, and then also helping the client with filming and being that final review of the video before it goes out to that client. So that being said, we had a call yesterday on how to potentially go recruit some of these people, which would basically be like going into people who are big inside of that space and going into like who follows them, who they follow, and reaching out with the application. And then also I'll be at a creative director mastermind this weekend, so there could be some potential candidates or people who know some candidates that are at that event. And then also my social media, and potentially finding like a marketing recruiter as well to place someone for that role. So that's what I learned there. And then also had another person I had reached out to months ago thinking about a potential role like this. And he'd actually reached out to me today and was like, hey, how are things going with that role? And I was like, wow, this is weird. I'm literally like going to be putting together the packet for it tomorrow. So tomorrow's day will primarily consist of putting together the application, putting together the job description, the comp plan, and the test assignments and the interview questions for this role. And then we'll be blasting that out throughout the weekend at the event, and then kicking off a big campaign on Monday. So that's what we got for today. I'm going to go in and continue putting together the production, the post-production uploads for the content we filmed this past weekend. It's 8:07 right now, so I'll probably do that for the next like 45 or so minutes, and then I go to bed so I can get up at a good time and still get some good sleep. So that being said, that was a little bit more in-depth of an overview than I've been doing in the past few days. So I'll try and keep this up. We do need to get a framework around this video. It just has not been even remotely near the top of my priority list. What's been at the top of my priority list are building our processes, hiring me out of the day-to-day, fulfilling for our clients, and making sure I'm staying consistent on this. So that being said, I'll see you tomorrow.